Ladies and gentlemen, again, a reminder, if you could make your way to your seats, we're going to get our program started here shortly. All right, folks, we need you to make your way to your seats, please, so we can get started. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a final call for everybody to grab their seat, and we'll get started here momentarily. Good afternoon, fellow Falcons. What a great day to be a Falcon, a beautiful day at the beautiful Stroh Center. And it's a great day to be a Falcon and induct 4 new Hall of Fame members. I also want to welcome all of those who are watching on our YouTube stream, as well as all our friends and family and fellow Falcons here at Stroh Center. My name's Todd Walker. I'm the radio voice for BGSU football and men's basketball with Learfield IMG College. It's my honor to be your MC for today. This is our 2020 class. A little bit delayed, right? Like a lot of things, but we're getting around to it in good time. And we've got 4 great Hall of Famers we're going to induct today. This is the 53rd class in BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame history. Now, these 4 Falcons will add their names to the ranks of the best ever here at BGSU. And we're pleased and excited to have them and their friends and family with us on this big day for them. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we want you to turn your attention to the video screens. We have a special slideshow video to recognize some of the greats from the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame.
Oh, fine.
A lot of great Falcons, a lot of great memories, and we're going to add 4 more to the ranks of the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame here today. Right now, it's my pleasure to bring to the podium the 12th president of BGSU. Please give a warm welcome to President Dr. Rodney Rogers.
Thank you, Todd, and welcome home to Bowling Green State University. It's exciting to be together, isn't it? March 9th, 2020, Governor DeWine declared a state of emergency here in the state of Ohio, and it is now 432 days later. But who's keeping track of time? I don't know. I know I am, okay? But we are 432 days through this, and it is an honor to have these 4 inductees back on campus to add to this amazing legacy. And I want to start, though, by making a brief comment about our current athletes who've been at Bowling Green State University during this global pandemic. They have done all kinds of extra testing and protocols, and they found a way forward to compete at the highest level, every one of those sports. And that inspired our campus. That made a difference in our community. And in many ways, that is what athletics brings to all of us. It's not just these 4 individuals who've achieved excellence in their chosen area, but it's how you have inspired your fellow athletes, your fellow students, this community, and that success that you had, that you went out and competed at the highest level and made us a better university. And for that, we are so appreciative. And so on behalf of Bowling Green State University and those 190,000 alumni, family, and friends that are spread throughout this world, welcome home. We are so honored that you will allow us to honor you in this way. And let's say it together. Aizigi Zumba.
Thank you, President Rogers. And indeed, it was an inspiration for the athletes and everybody to persevere. A great message. Time now to bring up to the podium the athletic director here at BGSU. He's also a graduate of BG and a baseball alumnus. He's finishing his 5th year as our director of athletics. Let's give a warm welcome to Bob Moosbrugger.
Welcome, everyone. Hope everybody's doing wonderful. Great to have these inductees back on campus, like President Rogers said. On behalf of our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff members, welcome to the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame. Freddie, Christy, Stephanie, Denise, the legacy that you have left behind is being honored here today, but it's one that our student athletes aspire, our coaches aspire to, and it's so great to have you guys back. And like President Rogers said, it's great to be in a room like this together, somewhat maskless. You can take it off, President Rogers. I give you permission. I want to thank and honor recognize the work of the Hall of Fame committee. We don't recognize them by name. They rather stay nameless, but they did a great job producing this 53rd class of the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. It's a tough job. Some people would say it's a thankless job, but is one that is necessary and meaningful to honor the history of BGSU athletics. It's meaningful, very meaningful, to the members, the inductees, their families, their friends, their mentors, their coaches who supported them throughout all their careers. So thank you to our committee. I also want to recognize the Hall of Famers that are here today with us. I'll start with the oldest. Brian McClure, football, class of 1991. Tammy Schiller Justice, class of 1999, volleyball. Welcome back. And the legendary Mickey Cochran, class of 1992. It's great to have you guys back welcoming these new inductees into our Hall of Fame. So the committee does all the work, right? And I'm the athletic director. I get to make 4 phone calls this year that, when did I make those? Probably November. So November, we were about 6 months into this COVID pandemic, and I make these 4 phone calls that day, and it is honestly the best day of my year thus far. And to hear the joy in your voices, the surprise in your voices, makes your day as an athletic director and gives you a reminder of why you do this job. And I know during these speeches that Kit has limited you to 5 minutes, right? We will hear about some of those memories because we had just a brief conversation about the memories and the greatness that is Bowling Green State University. So I look forward to hearing your speeches. You know, this year, President Rogers mentioned it, it's been a wonderful, challenging journey this year with our student athletes. Last March, like you said, we told everybody to go home, and we'll let you know when you can come back to campus. And we worked really hard to get our student athletes back to campus, back to some sort of normalcy. President Rogers and I talked about it. We want student athletes here on campus to compete. We want students in-person classes. We want them living in residence halls. It is a huge part of this university. And so we worked really hard. Our first group of student athletes came back in June. We learned from our mistakes. We adjusted on the fly. We adapted, and we've had one of the best seasons in our athletic history. With championships and women's basketball, volleyball, men's and women's soccer. And I know Jimmy Walker, our women's soccer coach, is here today. Individual championships in track, cross country, and swimming have made all of the work that this year has brought us well worth it. I want to give a round of applause and thanks to my staff who, I'm the guy who said, okay, we're going to take 20 days of furlough this year, and we're going to have to figure out how to essentially have 16 of our 18 sports competing during the spring. And those, for the most part, they were positive with me, and they rolled up their sleeves and went after it and produced the best year in BGSU athletic history. We've won 6 regular season or conference championships this year. That's the most since 1982, 1983. Those championships, the challenges of this year will last a lifetime with our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff. And we persisted through it all. We were resilient. And for this ceremony, we did that as well. We wanted to persist. We wanted to have this special moment for all of you. And it's not exactly everything that we wanted, but it is something that we wanted to accomplish this year so you guys could be inducted in front of your family, your friends, and your mentors. I look forward to your speeches, and you truly are an inspiration to our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff, because we all strive to do the best that we can academically and athletically. And I do have to give a shout out to our student athletes who finished this academic year with a cumulative grade point average of 3.42. So it's been an outstanding year in the classroom as well. The future of Falcon Athletics is bright because of the foundation that you 4 laid. We appreciate you guys coming back. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Isaac Izumba.
Thanks, Bob. It's time now to get to our inductees for this afternoon. Our first inductee is a Falcon gridiron great. He was a Bolitnikoff Trophy finalist in 2009, given to the top wide receiver in the nation. He was also a 2009 Football Writers First Team All-American. That year he was also First Team All-MAC and the team MVP, and he set a then FBS record with 155 receptions in a season. He is also BGSU's single-season record holder in all-purpose yards, touchdown receptions, receiving yards, and receptions.
Hey, this is Tyler Sheehan, and I just wanted to congratulate my man Freddie B on his induction into the BGSU Hall of Fame. Freddie, my man, you earned every bit of it. All the extra work we always put in on and off the field obviously paid off big time for a big time player, whether it be the 2-point conversion against Minnesota, which I always remember, or the 22 catch game against Kent State. You were always there when your teammates needed you. Go Falcons.
Hey, Freddie, Coach Brandon here. Congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. That's quite an honor and very well deserved. You certainly were a fun player to coach and even better to watch. Just a little sidebar for the fans. They probably don't know that you were a heck of a high school quarterback when we recruited you out of the south suburbs of Chicago, and you came to BG and made the transition to receiver, and the rest is history, my man. Once again, congrats, and God bless to you and your family. Take care.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Freddie Barnes.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming because the first thing I said after getting off the phone with Bob is I'm just thankful I was alive to receive the call and to be here. And I know COVID's been tough for everybody, and so thank you again for coming out. I want to thank my family and my friends. Y'all been there through all the tough stuff. I know the only thing I thought about was trying not to cry because I'm really grateful for my experience here. We got to see Coach Brandon. He used to tell me, no blocky, no catchy. And for me, I know I wanted to make plays, and if that's the condition, I'm a block, you know, so. Tyler, we started out in the quarterback room together when he first got here, and when they switched me up, he's always trusted me. And hearing him say, I was here for my teammates when they needed me, for me, that's something I always kind of live by, where if somebody need a helping hand, I want to be available. So hearing him say that meant a lot. I'm gonna get through it, but my mom, she I always told her she was like my Christ because she sacrificed her life so I could be here, and I just always wanted her to be happy with that sacrifice. So Bowling Green give her that chance to hang her hat on something, you know, where she sacrificed for a reason. My grandmother, she would call and leave voicemail and a text message every time she called, as if I didn't see that she called. People would tell me that my voicemail is full, and I would have to tell my grandma, you can't leave a message every time. But my grandmother, she just always felt me and knew that I needed to talk, even though I wouldn't. So those two, they carved it out for me, and just so lucky to be a part of this. 2 head coaches, played for Coach Brandon for 4 years. He was awesome. He always trusted me to make a play. And I've been around different situations, and it's not normal that you just get all your coaches trusting in you, all your teammates trusting in you. I always felt the responsibility to try to show up, even if I was a decoy or whatever, so I got my teammate, DeMarc here. They used to call him my twin when he was here, because we talk alike and we act alike, and he just had a baby, and he congratulated me, but I'm congratulating him because I know how awesome this baby is about to be because of how amazing he is. Without Bowling Green, we wouldn't have that connection, so I just want my nieces and nephews to be grateful for everything you got. Give max effort, believe in yourself, and who knows where you end up. So I just want to thank y'all.
Our second inductee tonight is arguably the greatest women's soccer player in BGSU history. She is BGSU's career leader in points, goals, consecutive matches, goals in a game, match-winning goals, and goals in a season. She was MAC Freshman of the Year in 2001. She was a three-time MAC All-Tournament Team selection. She was a three-time Team MVP, and she helped BG to its first MAC championship and NCAA tournament appearance in 2004.
Hey Kappas, congratulations on the induction of the Hall of Fame. I am so proud of you. What an honor. I am so glad that I was able to be part of those 4 years with you on and off the field. Bowling Green definitely wouldn't have been the same without you. I have so many memories that I still laugh about to this day. So thank you for choosing Bowling Green. And once again, congratulations. I'm really, really proud of you. Just remember, I will always have your back with a number 3 and a K squared from Ziggy's. Love you, girl.
You came, you had a great career, you scored 1 million goals, you're part of the first team that win a MAC championship, and most importantly, you're just a very special person to coach. You and your teammates at the time helped elevate the program to a level where we could consistently compete in the MAC, win championships, and help all the teams that followed you do something similar. Thank you for everything you did for the program. You really were special to me. Give my best to your family. Have a great night, superstar.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Christy Kappas.
All right, now that I'm crying already. First, I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It really does mean a lot to not only myself, but everybody else. And it's just such an honor to be here and be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but also to be the first women's soccer player to take that honor. So it really holds something special in my heart for that. I want to thank, first, just start off by thanking my parents. If, of course, they weren't behind me, I have no idea where I'd be. They're great. They made sure that I was where I needed to be and what I needed to have, no matter when it was or anything. So, they worked extra jobs, took extra time off of work, and just so they could, travel no matter where it would be, whether it was 20 minutes down the road or, 20-hour flight somewhere. So I couldn't have asked for a better set of parents to show me what I need to do for my son. Be that parent who shows up to every game and, fights for them no matter what it is. I learned a lot here at Bowling Green, not only how to be a college athlete, because that does take on a lot of responsibility, as we all know. Being on the road, trying to go to class, waking up extra early to go lift, and then having 2-a-days, for preseason. So you learn a lot of responsibility. And really, that is one of the number one things I can say that I gained from Bowling Green and playing soccer. I had a great support system, again, from my parents, but also from my grandfather. He was my number one fan. So, all my girls over here, they know how much he meant to us. And while I'm on them, I thank you guys so much for being here. They traveled from all over, and I haven't seen them for probably 15 years, so that's awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Sorry, all I'm doing is crying, but that's all right. My husband and my son, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It's kind of a funny story because me and my husband met, in Florida, where we currently live. He didn't really know my history. He didn't really know my background. And, meeting somebody that you don't really know, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of, research them and Google them and kind of see who I'm dealing with a little bit. Well, he didn't do that to me, so he really has no idea what I was about. So I kind of, it's like, well, just, Google my name. And then he said, oh, okay. Sorry. So it's kind of funny to be in that situation. But bringing him back here and, seeing, who the place that made me. And, for him to be able to meet my girlfriends and spend time with them tonight and get to see who we are and how much fun we had and just the goofy stuff that we always did. I couldn't have asked for a better coach while I was here at Bowling Green. Andy, he wasn't, I would say, our best friend as players, but who is? Your coach isn't supposed to be your best friend. He taught us the good, the bad, and unfortunately, the ugly that comes out of it when we aren't doing what he wants us to do correctly. So in the end, I take a step back and I look back and I say, he was probably a perfect coach for us. He got us from, the bottom, as they were talking about. It was a fresh team as we came in. They had only been around for about 4 or 5 years. And he was that coach that got us to win that MAC championship for the first time and got us to the NCAA tournament. So, again, I couldn't have asked for a better coach throughout my 4 years at Bowling Green. I did write a speech, but I haven't said anything in it. So, I was kind of expecting that. I think it was probably more for my parents to say, I got a speech, don't worry. But yeah, it is what it is. I wanted it to be heartfelt and, just appreciate everybody who came out tonight. This is a great experience, a great time for myself as well as the other inductees, I'm sure. And, I just want to thank Bowling Green State University for having the opportunity to be, on the women's soccer team and show us what a collegiate soccer player should be. But I can say I'm awfully jealous of all of the improvements. And, we were upstairs on the second floor of the football stadium in like a, 10 by 10 room with, I don't think we could use the showers if we wanted because track stored all their stuff in there. And so, last time I was here, I went up there and saw, and I was like, what in the heck? And then I got a tour today around campus, and that was amazing to see all of the improvements of the university, but also a sense of jealousness because now the dorms have AC in them, and it's just not right. But, you know, thanks again, everybody, for coming out tonight and celebrating this special time for myself. Thank you.
Our next inductee today is a record-breaking high jumper. She was a two-time All-American. She is the school record holder for the indoor and outdoor high jump. She was the MAC champion in the indoor high jump in 1999. She is one of two qualifiers for NCAA Indoor Track and Field National Championships in BGSU history, and she holds 5 of the top 10 performances in program history in the outdoor high jump.
She accomplished the height of 6 feet, which any very good high jumper would like to do. She accomplished that while she was here, and she finished 7th in the 2001 Outdoor NCAA Track and Field Championships. Stephanie, you're very deserving of this. I congratulate you for entrance into the Bowling Green State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hi, Steph. A heartfelt congratulations on being inducted into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. I knew you as an athlete, I knew you as a student, I knew you were qualified for this honor in the future.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Stephanie Helt-Scheller.
Hello. I did have to write a speech because my mind is a little mushy these days. I have a 9-week-old newborn, so I might be reading straight from this. But good afternoon, everyone. I'm so deeply honored and ecstatic to be selected as a Hall of Fame inductee, joining the ranks of so many incredibly talented student athletes, coaches, and teams. And especially, I'm thrilled to represent the BGSU women's track and field team. Congratulations to my fellow Hall of Fame classmates, Freddie, Christy, Denise. It's an honor to be an inductee with you, athletes of such caliber. Thank you. And thanks to Kit Hughes and Jason Knavel for organizing all the details for us and fielding all of my questions. Thank you for the Hall of Fame committee that voted me in, and a very special thanks to Professor Lee Meserve for nominating me. Lee was a professor at BGSU for 44 years, was recognized as a distinguished teaching professor, and was the longest-termed faculty athletics representative at BGSU. He and his wife Marge are huge track fans, gymnastics fans, swim, softball. Matter of fact, the women's softball field is Meserve Field after him. Thank you, Lee, for nominating me and for believing in me as a student athlete. Like other inductees, so emotional. I received the call from athletic director Bob Moosberger back in November, and the timing was quite tricky, obviously the coronavirus pandemic, but because at the time I was 5 months pregnant, and I learned that this ceremony was to happen about a month or two from when the baby was going to be born, but I was adamant about being here in person, and I considered renting an RV and driving us all across the country, which would have been bananas. Could you imagine that? I mean, family of 5 with a newborn driving from Portland, Oregon to Bowling Green, oh my gosh. My stepdaughter, my 15-year-old stepdaughter, Elia, calls us the Simpsons. She's like Lisa Simpson. My 6-year-old son, Lyndon, is Bart Simpson. You get the drift. And if you saw one of our family dinners, you would agree that we are like the Simpsons. Anyways, I'm grateful the older kiddos are with loved ones back in Portland, so my husband Nathan and my 9-week-old daughter Juniper over there could be here today. And thank you for making this trip, honey, Homer. I wouldn't have had my BGSU athletic success if it weren't for some very special people in my life. I'd like to start off by thanking my parents. They always made my athletics a high priority. They spent hours of their own personal lives to support my basketball, cross country, and track life, and all the driving that went with it. I can still today hear my parents' chants and cheers when I played basketball or raced on the track. A&E, Steph, A&E. That was for asses and elbows. It came from basketball, but it was good for the 200 and 400 meter races. My mother, Anne Marie, had a voice that could be heard above all in the stands, but when I long jumped or high jumped, she fell silent. Sometimes she got so worked up with nerves that she would walk away and find a place to sneak a cigarette. My mother was a Falcon employee for about 3 years as the director of personnel. She left BG and went to University of Toledo, then Drexel and Temple in Philadelphia, and then back to Toledo for retirement. When she was living in Philly, I would call her after a track meet and let her know how things went. You know, using a calling card and a payphone. You guys remember those? So quite a while ago. I specifically remember calling her after I broke the Saginaw Valley State University Arena high jump record with a jump of 5'10". I could hear her grinning through her words. I could hear deep pride in her voice. And I could hear the cigarette exhalation. She passed away in 2013. My father, Don, insisted on going to all my games or meets within a several hours drive. When my mother took that job in Philly, he decided instead of moving with her, he would stay in Toledo so he could go to my BGSU track meets. He was an athlete himself. He played basketball, baseball, and football. He even had a stint with the San Diego Chargers. After he retired as a phys ed teacher, he learned shot put and disc, and he competed in the Senior Olympics. I could always feel my dad's gentle presence at meets and games. He quietly noted my jump attempts, watched me come out of the blocks, and he timed all my splits. He was my lifetime coach. He passed away in 2018. My parents were awarded the BGSU Friend of the Program from Coach Steve Price in 2001. They were my biggest fans, my biggest supporters, and I wish they could be here to witness this honor. It's ultimately because of them that I excelled as I did, and I have them to thank. Whew. What stood out with me in my collegiate experience was that my coaches and professors weren't only focused on the outcome of a meet or final grades. My coaches and professors supported other areas of growth to truly enrich my young adult life. I want to thank head coach Steve Price for his kind, fatherly way of coaching us. My freshman year, I was keen on trying the heptathlon, where I'd have to learn shot put, javelin, and hurdles. But Steve gently directed my enthusiasm back towards high jump and long jump. He knew that's where I needed to focus. Steve had a zest for experience beyond sports competition. He encouraged adventure and travel. One of my fondest memories is when we toured the Liberty Bell and the popular Terminal Market while in Philadelphia for the Penn Relays. It was a really special event. Thank you, Steve, for your kind coaching. You're encouraging us to look beyond competition and for being a steady reminder that there is more to life than sport. Speaking of travel, both Coach Sid Sink, he was in the video, and Professor Gary Silverman were critical in arranging my study abroad stint in Australia in 1999. Sid was a distance coach and transitioned to assistant athletic director for compliance and eligibility, and Gary was the environmental health program director, which is the program I majored in. My time living, studying, and backpacking in Australia with people from all over the world was truly life-changing. It expanded my horizons beyond academia and sports. Thank you, Sid and Gary, for encouraging my growth in that way and trusting that I would come back. Which brings me to Coach Scott Seaman. Scott was the field event coach and my first legit jumps coach. I came to BGSU with a 5.5 high jump and quickly excelled with his coaching, resulting in a 5.8 my freshman year and my best jump of 6 feet my last year. Scott was light and calm in his coaching style, some might even say a little aloof. He was often seen sipping out of one of those big gulp 7-Eleven cups during practice. When I had a particularly poor jump or practice attempt, he would look down with a shaking head and mischievous smile and say, "Helter skelter." But Scott's coaching worked well for me and for my nerves. And ultimately, he suggested me redshirting in 2000, which meant I could stay in Oz a little bit longer. Thank you, Scott, for your guidance, bringing levity to stressful moments, and for helping me soar my ultimate heights. And Coach, I got you an upgraded big gulp. That's for you. I'd also like to recognize the many incredibly inspiring, dedicated, kick-ass men and women teammates that showed up every day and left it all out on the track or field. 2001 was the last year that BGSU had both men and women track and field teams, and I felt that co-ed experience was very special. We were really one big team, one big family. We spent hours together. Van rides, bus rides, hotel stays, and of course practice and competition. We busted butt together doing stadium stairs, hill sprints, you know, the one hill in Bowling Green at the golf course. We shared all the ups and downs. My teammates were more than just teammates. They became lifelong friends, and I truly cherish those relationships. A few teammates are here today, and I'd like them to please stand up. High jumper Jody Rafferty and thrower Cindy Stanfield, my co-captain in 2001. Thank you for your inspiration, bringing it each and every day, and for making my BGSU track and field experience unforgettable. Next month marks the 20th anniversary of the last time I competed as a Falcon. Looking back at my collegiate athletic career, I must say I feel pride in myself and deep gratitude. My experience at Bowling Green were truly a privilege. Very few athletes get to compete at a Division I NCAA level. Very few athletes get to compete at elite invitational and national levels. And very few get to study abroad in the midst of their collegiate career. Even fewer are women inducted into the Hall of Fame. 15% are women in the Hall of Fame, and it's growing. We're taking over this year. We're dominating. I am profoundly honored and thrilled to be inducted into the BGSU Hall of Fame. I am proud to be a Falcon. Thank you.
Our final inductee this afternoon is the legendary head coach of Falcon Volleyball. She was named MAC Coach of the Year 4 times. Her teams won 3 MAC regular season championships. She became the first coach in MAC history to reach 350 career wins. Her teams posted 5 straight 20-plus win seasons, and her 1991 team won the MAC tournament and played in the NCAA tournament.
Hi, this is Tammy Justice, and I want to congratulate Coach on induction into the BGSU Hall of Fame. Coach, you have made a tremendous impact on my life and the life of so many young women and their families. I am forever grateful for all the opportunities that you provided me, such as a college education, longtime friends, and travel, and a husband. My husband and Coach conspired together for several months that he would ask me to marry him at our banquet. I'm eternally grateful for you witnessing to me and praying with me. Congratulations again, Coach. This is well deserved. I love you.
Hi, Coach. It's Linda. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. It's so richly deserved. I think often of our groundbreaking, record-breaking achievements and of our first MAC championship. But what also sticks with me is how great it was to play for a coach who was so competitive, but also so joyous and passionate about the sport. It was inspiring. So congratulations to you from me, from all my family. God bless you, Coach.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Denise Vandewally.
Okay, I'm bawling already. I haven't even talked. Oh my gosh. Those of you that know me well know that I cry just about at anything. I can be watching Wheel of Fortune or something and I cry. So seeing all of you here and listening to Tammy and Linda talk about me and listening to the other speeches, I'll give it my best shot, okay? And I have to read this too because I can't wing it. It's such an honor to be here and receive this Hall of Fame induction. And first and foremost, I want to thank God for blessing me throughout my career. Without Him in my life, I know I would not have been able to do anything that I've done. And I want to thank Bowling Green Athletic Director Bob Moosberger. I have to tell you a funny story about when I got the call in November. I was in Arizona on vacation, and my phone rings and I see it's a 419 number, and I still have my 419 number, but I get so many robocalls and calls from all over. And so when I saw that, I wasn't going to answer it, but I thought, oh, I'll do it. And it was Bob, and he introduced himself. And you know how fast your mind can think in a millisecond? I thought, he's asking for money. He's asking for money, and I'm going to be on the spot, and what am I going to say? And it never happened. And he said, Denise, I'm calling to let you know that you are going to be inducted into the BG Hall of Fame. And I just couldn't stop smiling. I was ecstatic. I really couldn't believe it. I was on the Hall of Fame committee when I worked here for over 10 years. I know the amount of nominees that you get each year and the amount of work it takes to finalize a class. So thank you to the committee and to the person who nominated me. And also I want a big thank you to Kit and Jason Knavel, because I know you guys have worked tirelessly to get this event on. So thank you very much for that. Congratulations to Christy, Stephanie, and Freddie. It was so fun to see you guys last night at Fifth Third Field. I remember you as impressive athletes while I was coaching here. And I know that the three of you are as thrilled as I am to enter into the BG Hall of Fame. Before I really get into the bulk of my speech, thank goodness I'm going last, because I was seeing how long everyone took, and I thought, well, I can add my stuff. And, you know, Freddie didn't take 5, or maybe it was 4:30, so I'll just keep adding on. But I'd like to recognize some of my special guests that are in my brown section. My sister and brother-in-law, Debbie and Ron, are there, and my niece, Kelly. I want to thank you for making the trip here, because I know it's not easy. Kelly's in finals at Notre Dame, and I know it's a really busy time. I wish my brother could be here, but he just went into the hospital yesterday, so he couldn't make it. I need to recognize my best friends from South Bend that made the trip. I have Nick and Mark and Debbie Hempel. They don't know my life here. You know, they've only met me since I've been in South Bend, so this is all new to them, to see this place, to see me in this environment. But I couldn't ask for 3 better friends. I also want to recognize one of my favorite coaches while I was here, and that's former baseball great Danny Schmitz. Wonderful. And then, yeah, we can clap for him. And then, oh, he's outside. He's outside walking his granddaughter. But BG father, fan, and friend Tim Dunn. And then 2 of the husbands of my players are, oh yeah, there he goes right there. Hi, Tim. Two of the husbands I have here, you met Brian, he's a Hall of Famer, so he was really sweet when he walked up to me, he goes, "Welcome to the club." So that was nice. And then Tammy's husband, Greg, is here. With everyone who has accomplished a lot in anything they do, there are always people behind them helping them get there. I would like to recognize and thank some of those people right now. First, I would like to thank and honor my parents, Bob and Rose Vandewally. If only they were alive to see this. My dad loved the fact that I was a coach. They didn't come that often to my matches to see me here. They didn't travel that much. But they did make it to one of the biggest matches in my career. And that was my first MAC championship when we beat Western Michigan and snapped their 98 consecutive MAC win streak. And this is a picture that kind of sums up what it was like that day. That's my dad. He ran out of the stands and grabbed me on the court, and it was something I will never forget. Whew, yeah. I have to thank my college coach at Ball State, Dr. Barb Curcio, for seeing something in me that I didn't recognize at the time, and that is that I would be a good coach. I would not be in coaching at all if it weren't for her prodding me. I actually tell her she nagged me to apply for my first high school coaching job in Muncie right after my Ball State graduation. I was only 22. I want to thank Mr. Owen Lemna for giving me that first paid coaching job of $200 to be the JV coach at Muncie Northside High School. I also want to thank the very famous Ball State men's volleyball coach, Dr. Don Shondell, who let me coach with him for a season. That was a very rare thing to have a female on a staff with a men's team. But I can't stand here without a heartfelt thanks to Jack Gregory, the athletic director who hired me way back in 1983. See, he took a big chance on me. I was young, insecure, inexperienced, and he wanted me to take over his volleyball program. Jack was like a dad to me. He was a coach's AD. Since he had been a coach himself, he knew what it was like to win a big match or lose one you shouldn't have lost. He celebrated our victories with us. I remember being called into his office in 1985 after my third season, and he asked me how I thought it was going. And he said, "It's not really going how you thought it was, right?" You see, we hadn't had a winning season yet. We were 37-52. And that was tough on me because I was coming in never having had a losing season in my entire life. And I was scared this meeting was he was going to fire me. He let me talk and explain myself. I told him, I just need a good setter. That was all I was missing. After 30 or 40 minutes, he looked at me in his fatherly way and he said, "You're on the right track, Denise." Those words of reassurance spurred us on to a record of 221-93, 3 MAC championships, 1 NCAA tournament, an NIVC second place, and several all-conference players for the next 10 years. I cherished my relationship with Jack Gregory. We didn't have multi-year contracts back then. He came down to my office one day and he looked me straight in the face and he said, "You will always have a job here as long as I am the athletic director." And I knew he meant that. Again, he gave me the confidence I needed to continue with no fear of ever losing my job. I so wish he was here to see me get this honor. So thank you, Jack, for believing in me more than I did myself. Next, I want to thank my assistant coaches over my career who have spent countless hours meeting and talking about how to win, yet to make sure we were doing it right. Rob Frost couldn't be here, but he was a great assistant. He was a man of integrity, and I learned a lot watching how he lived his life. He was great in the gym with the team. He went on to have a terrific career at Mary Hardin Baylor in Texas. Next is Sean. And Sean is here today. He just flew in for this from Texas State, where he is a first-year head coach after spending 14 years as their assistant. Sean and I go way back to when he was a student here at BG on the men's club team. But if you knew our history, you would never have pictured Sean working with me and being such an important part of my volleyball career. He ended up helping me for 4 years. He was a great setter, a great practice player with us, and a great coach. Sean, thank you for all that you did for me and the team. Thank you for your friendship, which has now spanned over 20 years. Congratulations on the tremendous year you had with the Bobcats. Listen to this, 31-9 in his first year as a head coach. I think I ought to be going to San Marcos to get some pointers from him. Congratulations. Tom was supposed to be here. Is Tom Teeters here? I don't know if he's actually made it, but I wanted to thank him. He was a volunteer assistant for me for several years, and that's dedication when you continue to coach and you don't receive a penny. So thank you, Tom, for the hours and hours we talked about the team, what lineup we should use, and how you could teach them one of your fancy jump float serves. The team was always better when you ran the serving part of practice. Your insight and objectivity balanced out my emotional take on things. Next, a huge, huge thank you to my longtime assistant coach, Mark Hardaway. I don't think I've ever properly thanked you for all the years that you put in, back from when you volunteered, I think it was back in 1991, to becoming my first full-time assistant. You were instrumental in all of my success here. Thank you for being my right-hand person. You are such a positive person, and the program was good because you were in my life and by my side. During our time together, I spent more time with Mark than any other person on the planet. I thank you, Mark, for putting up with me and making me a better coach. So when I accept this induction, you guys, please know that I am accepting it for all of you. Could you guys give them a round of applause? Next, the players, and I wish every single player that I've ever coached could be in this room. Standing, could you guys stand if you're here? I just want my players that are here, and Ashley and Carrie. Carrie, you should be in that section. Ashley, come over in that section. Anyway, standing before you is another reason I am here. Standing before you is Lisa, a middle hitter and an honorable mention All-MAC player who came in 1983 with me. So I always used to say, we were freshmen together, because she was a first year and so was I. Next is Tammy, a first-team academic All-MAC, a two-time MAC Player of the Year, a two-time All-Northeast Region player, an Olympic Festival player, a three-time first-team All-MAC performer, and a two-time MAC All-Tournament player, and a BG Hall of Famer. Next is Carrie, and she's over there. Carrie was a setter and a first-team academic All-MAC, a first-team All-MAC, and an NIVC All-Tournament team player, and she set us to back-to-back MAC championships. Kendra, I can see you back there. Kendra was a three-time first-team All-MAC middle. Heather, a setter and MAC All-Tournament player. Chrissy, where's Chrissy? There she is. A setter and a first-team academic All-MAC, an honorable mention All-Northeast Region, and a first-team All-MAC setter who set us up to a runner-up MAC championship. And then Ashley. Ashley was an academic All-MAC and one of only two players in the history of the program to get over 2,000 digs. She was a stud. And Erica. Erica, where are you? Right there. Erica was the last recruit I brought into the program before I left in 2011. And she was a 2-time academic All-MAC and a MAC Scholar athlete. Could you give them a round of applause? There's a player that I'd like to thank who isn't here, who set the program in motion. Do you remember when I told my boss I just needed a setter? Well, I got one who happens to be one of the best student athletes to come out of BG, and that was Linda, and you saw her on the screen. Once she set foot, all 5'3" of her on campus, she turned that 37 and 52 record into an 86 and 37 record in her 4 years, and she set us to our very first MAC championship. She also earned the prestigious Walter Byers Award, which is given to the top athlete in the country, academic from the NCAA, and she was the first BGSU athlete to win that award. And she also has been inducted into the Hall of Fame. So thank you, Linda, for choosing BG. Without you, we would never have turned the corner. So these players that are sitting in here were part of over my 530 wins. However, as I prepared this speech, I didn't really think about the honors and the awards that we earned. I thought about the special moments that make coaching the most rewarding and yet challenging profession on earth. I think back to the time when I was in Anderson Arena, and Tammy kind of said something about this. I was with Tammy's then boyfriend, now husband, Greg, and we were shooting baskets in Anderson Arena. Now, you would have seen that. I've never played basketball, and it was awful. But anyways, Greg came up to me and he said, "Coach, I'm going to ask Tammy to marry me, and I want to do something special. What should I do?" That's how close we were. Well, we came up with the idea that he would ask Tammy to marry him at our banquet, and we pulled it off. It was a big surprise to everyone, including Tammy's parents. But it is a memory that I will treasure. I remember how in 1989, the team would bet me something before each conference match that if they won, I would have to do it. We beat Toledo, and the bet was I would have to wear my cheerleading outfit and coach in it in practice on Monday. So I did that. The final one was our MAC championship. Now again, Western Michigan was 98-0 at that time, so they said, "Hey, if we win, we get to cut your hair, and you will get bangs." Now, I wore my hair parted down the middle my whole life, just parted down the middle, nothing. And so the thought of us really winning was so far-fetched, I said, "Sure, I'll go with that." Well, we won, and it was great. We snapped that 98 consecutive win streak, and we did win the MAC, and so that's how I ended up with bangs. So here it is all these years later. They're probably going to go, "Hey, now it's time to get rid of the bangs, and let's go back to the part down the middle." You know, I even think about, and I thought of this today when I drove over to Anderson Arena. It was locked up. But I even think of the things like I used to do the team laundry every day after practice in the equipment room, because Joe Sharp was out here and I'd be over there and I'd say, "Joe, I'll do it." So I did the laundry. I would paint the lines on the floor because we didn't have permanent lines, so I would paint them. And I was the one in charge of driving a 12-passenger van, and we'd shove like 16, 17 people in it back then. You know, those were the crazy days back in the 80s. But now what I think about all the phone calls, the text messages, and the invitations I get when one of my players gets married or has a baby. These are the things that have made those 29 years so worthwhile. And last, I want to thank the countless fans that we've had over my 29 years. Some of them were there my entire career. I loved looking up into the stands in Anderson Arena and seeing the same people match after match sitting in their same seats. And they were there whether we were 30-8 or 9-21. They were part of the house that roars. I will end this by saying that I had spent 29 years, which was half of my life, when I left BGSU in January of 2012. I grew up here. BG played such an important part of who I am now. It was and is the only Division I head coaching job I've ever had. I learned how to coach here. I learned how to win here. I learned how to face losing here. I learned how to handle disappointment. I definitely learned how to multitask. But more importantly, I think I learned how to love on my players. My coaching philosophy has always been the players won't care how much I know until they know how much I care. That philosophy guided me for 29 years. I can look you all in the face and say I truly cared about and loved BG volleyball with my whole heart and soul. So thank you very much for this incredible honor. I am truly blessed to be included in the BGSU Hall of Fame. Once a Falcon, always a Falcon.
At this time, we welcome all 4 inductees to meet at the podium with Athletic Director Bob Moosbrugger and President Rogers for a group photo and the unveiling of the 2020 Hall of Fame plaque. Congrats again to our honorees. At this time, we want to welcome a special guest to the podium, a current athlete here at BGSU. She's a thrower on the track and field team. Her work in the classroom and in the throwing circle is unparalleled. Hailing from British Columbia, she's a second-team All-American, a 2-time MAC champion, and 5 times she's been named Academic All-MAC. Falcons, please welcome Kayla Butler.
Hello. I also had to write this down. I'm still in season, memorization not on the top of my brain. Good afternoon, honored guests, alumni, donors, and fellow Falcons. In a year unlike any other, I first want to say thank you to Kit Hughes and Jason Knable for inviting me to speak to you all today. I am honored to have been asked to speak and to have a very small part in recognizing the newest inductees into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. I think it goes without saying that athletes and coaches all strive for greatness. What that means can differ, whether that means breaking long-standing records or breaking our own records. These 4 Falcons exemplify everything we as student athletes all wish to someday attain. One of the things that attracted me to BG was the continued commitment to excellence in every aspect of life. Seeing who has come before you is a great motivator and inspires student athletes with dreams of what they may someday achieve. Having coaches who are recognized for their successes shows an understanding that we are all part of a team and that success truly comes when we all work together. Whether in a team sport like football, soccer, or volleyball, or a relatively individual sport like track and field, championship mindset comes when there is a shared dedication between hardworking athletes and equally hardworking coaches, a mindset that I believe is deeply and strongly rooted throughout all of BG athletics. It would not be not appropriate to acknowledge that one of the inductees this evening is also the very first for her sport, women's soccer. This is a true testament to the excellence that inductees have brought to BGSU, and I have great confidence in my 5 years here so far that we will be adding a few more from women's soccer in the future. Being inducted in the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame puts you all in very select company. And as each of your accomplishments shines tonight, it is evident why you deserve a spot along BGSU's greatest. I will refrain from stat dropping, as I'm sure we've heard plenty of that tonight, but not only did our prestigious four set records as athletes and coaches in their respective sports, but they dominated the MAC and received recognition nationally for their achievements. This is not an easy feat, one I am familiar with and still trying to obtain. As many of you know, you have to be equally as diligent in the classroom as you are on the field. The academics are often the unsung part of these successes, forgetting that while traveling for sports, attending hour after hour of practice, you also have to make sure that you're maintaining the academic standards. After all, that's why they call us student athletes. Quite the tag team of excellence when done correctly. As a current student athlete at BG, I know firsthand the dedication and commitment that it takes to be a student athlete at the Division I level. While most people can only dream of becoming a collegiate athlete, our inductees have gone above and beyond to excel at what they do. The legacy that you have left at BGSU has pushed the bar higher for countless student athletes such as myself to strive to one day join you in the Hall of Fame. Please accept my congratulations for this very well-deserved honor. You have all created the traditions of excellence that make BG not only a great academic choice, but also an amazing environment where athletes can truly succeed. I cannot imagine my time here at BG without being part of the greater Athletic Falcon family. The championship mindset starts from the top, so my sincerest thanks you goes out to President Dr. Rodney Rogers and our athletic director, Mr. Bob Moosebrugger. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our Falcon donors and alumni. As an international student, I would not be here without your generous support. I am sure I speak for all of the student athletes when I say thank you for allowing us the privilege of being Falcons. To the inductees, thank you for everything you have done for your respective programs and for BGSU athletics as a whole. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony. We'll be showing a highlight video that shows just how much Falcon athletics has grown. You all have earned it. Thank you, and I Ziggy Zumba.
Cause I'm about that.
What an exciting day, a great day, and congratulations again to our inductees, Freddie, Christy, Stephanie, and Denise. And this induction is important every year, but maybe this year more than ever. And you four are now part of the Hall of Fame and enshrined forever among the greats here at BGSU. You know, the care and reverence that we show with this for our history, I think, is a direct reflection of our passion for what we have in the present and in the future with BGSU and BGSU athletics. We're so fortunate to have Schmidhorst Heritage Hall. This is going to have a lot more displays in the very near future, and we're thankful for that. And these plaques here will be part of that, of course. So we're happy for our 4 new Hall of Famers today. We're glad you could all be here and enjoy it. It's a great day to be a Falcon. Good afternoon, and I, Ziggy Zumba.